Right, let's do this. Hello and welcome back to the Get in the Bin podcast. My name is Cameron and this is the podcast where we put stuff in the bin. Are you excited, Eryn?
I'm excited, yes.
Cool. I've got a proper sweaty glow going on here, but I think it's fine. We're just going to have to deal with how warm this room is.
It's pretty warm. Yeah, but that's okay.
Yeah. Okay, so do you want to introduce yourself properly and just tell us a bit about who you are?
Yeah. I'm Eryn Tett. I do comedy.
Yeah.
I feel like that's enough detail.
That's all that's your whole identity.
Else? Yeah. I think that's all.
Right, I'm really excited because, like I was telling you earlier, I'm trying to do the comedy thing at the moment. I say that I've done, I think, 3 gigs since I've been back. So I'm I'm not good. And you're not supposed to be good 3 gigs in, are you?
No,
really?
no, I don't think so. I think anybody who says that they are is like definitely
or
just
a prodigy.
Has a different standard of what good is.
Yeah. No, I'm nowhere near kind of where I want to be. I'm like struggling to kind of at the moment, and I'm enjoying the struggle, but struggling to find what my point of view is on things.
Yeah.
And working out kind of what angle I'm coming out with stuff. So I'm like, the alternative motives getting comedians on the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm just going to absolutely pick your brains about kind of where you started and how you're finding it at the moment and how you write stuff.
Yeah.
So that's my alternative motive for today. Yeah,
that's actually what this is about.
But that's what I'm interested in when I'm interviewing people and doing the podcast and stuff. Last week we had some people on who were doing immersive theatre, and I'd never really heard anyone talk about it. I've never experienced it before, and I'd learnt loads. So I'm hoping that by the end of this, I'm going to be really funny. Yeah. Because of all the tips that you're going to give.
Yeah.
But when did you start thinking about comedy?
So I actually have a degree in comedy. So I grew up in Singapore. I was born in Singapore, and then I moved to the UK for uni, and I did a comedy writing and performance course. So I have a BA.
Where's that?
In Southampton. Where was that is the correct question. Because that year the fees went up, and then people were like, oh, we're not sending our kids to do this for $9,000. That's
so it's just you?
Outrageous. No, I was 2 years before. The year before. I think it was literally the year after it went up. And then there was one year group of people where it's like, oh God, you really got screwed over, and then it just ended. So
you were leaving as they were walking in.
Wow, you paid 3 times the amount of us for this.
Yeah, a year. Yeah, I was one of the $9,000ers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, what was that useful in terms of?
It was fine. A lot of people dropped out. It was good for me because I grew up in Asia. I didn't have a lot of the references that everybody else had, and know all of the different comedians and comedy that people did know. So it was good to be around people my own age who had this experience of things. So it was good for that. Did I learn a lot? Probably not so much. But it was being in an environment of people who had similar interests.
It sounds useful in that sense. I don't know if I feel like it's like going anywhere, isn't it? You need to be somewhere around people who are doing a similar thing. So are people still doing it?
So a few people are still doing it. Yeah, there's definitely a few that have taken off, and then I think some people just it probably dies out of the actual performance element of trying to do it. Mm-hmm. But yeah. A few people have. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's a crazy degree.
It is a crazy degree, yeah. It's just not helpful.
Because there's a lot of comedians that tend to do like politics or they find something that they enjoy and then learn to hate and then go into comedy.
Yeah.
But you were just around.
I just went straight into doing that, I guess.
Yeah, that's something that I've kind of worked out though, is that there's no right or wrong way of getting into comedy, especially. It feels like you can kind of, just as long as you've got an experience, you can...
Yeah. I think some people are like kind of weird about courses because, I don't know, some people have like a strange like Rambo thing of like, you need to start from the bottom. You need to like do the fight montage of like having drinks thrown at you in pubs and stuff. And it's like, well, sometimes it's nice to just like be around nice people who are trying to help you. Like, we don't all need to just fight to the death to get here. It can actually be kind of nice.
Yeah, and you can have the best of both worlds as well. You can go and take that stuff.
Yeah, I'm still getting drinks thrown at me in angry pubs. Just like, I had a nicer experience.
You're still paying the dues,
Yeah. I paid my dues.
So in terms of so this is a Manchester Fringe special on the podcast. In terms of what's happening now, what is that? What show are you doing?
So my show is called Eryn Tett Finds Her Audience. Basically that's come from like, I'm kind of like do absurdism comedy. Like I would say that I'm an alternative comedian, but I'm not like in the, the like alternative like wigs and throwing fish at each other and like that kind of vibe. But what I'm doing at the essence of it is like straight stand-up, but I'm not quite like clubby, straight up clubby stand-up. So it's kind of been weird for me to like, where am I supposed to be? Like, I don't really know where I'm supposed to be. And the advice that I'm always given is you just need to find your audience and build from there. So I've decided to just like do that in the most fast track efficient way possible and just make a show where I do my show and then I like have a section where I collect data. And I just get a little bit of data, just find out who's liking it. So I'll kind of like have the seating plan and I'll just like shade the areas that people are really liking it and then not shade it so much to people who don't like it so much. I get an idea of like, where does my audience generally like to sit? A left-hand group or a right-hand group? And that. So I've also been like taking photos of people at the end who are like willing to have I have like a audience wall like mugshot thing.
Oh, okay.
So I have like people who are willing to be like my audience. I'll take a photo of them, stick them on the thing, and then like write a little note about them.
Okay,
so like
that's
collecting
cool.
people.
Yeah.
Along the way.
So then as the show develops, does material come out of like actually starting to shape who your audience is?
Yeah, so a bit. So the idea is that it like has a overarching narrative over the amount of times that I do it. So the show always like builds on itself. So I get more and more people on this wall and like know more and more about them. So I've collected some data which is like, one girl was really into slugs, and also me. I'm getting everybody's like opinions on double denim, which I feel like is a very controversial topic to begin with. I have like drew a picture of a slug in double denim, which is really difficult to explain to like every new audience because I like flip it over like, that's a slug in double denim. I'm just not gonna get into that.
And is it clear to them that has been part of a previous show? Or?
Yeah, so so then so what I've been doing is like based on what people have said in the previous one, like getting people's opinion from like the hard shades, which is like, and then trying to see what they like, and then I've kind of been doing at the end of it like, now the person who I've like kind of pinpointed is like kind of liked it the most gets to throw in something that they really like as well, so I can like bounce that off of the next ones. So we've got like slugs, double denim, and pastries.
Okay.
So I don't know.
So that's what you put in your Facebook ads.
Yeah. People who like stuff done over pastries, please come to my show.
You'll love this show.
Yeah, it's all about hitting those Facebook demographics.
Oh, that's so interesting because, like I was just saying then, I'm struggling to find my voice, but I feel like you found your voice, your angle on things, but you haven't found
Yeah. So I've got that. I've got my style. I know what I'm doing. And I know that people like it. It's just getting all of those people in the same space at the same time, which is like so hard to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to end up talking about this forever. This might be I don't care. We're doing it.
It's fine.
When you were talking earlier about the club comedy and not fitting in the club comedy, that to me, and I want to know what your thoughts are. Like, I watched one of your sets and I was like, this is so good in a club because it's like, I think it's just my taste as well. But personally, I loved watching it in that setting and not necessarily a setting where people know they're going into an absurdist comic.
Yeah.
Like that line that you were riding with that, like, I loved watching that.
Yeah. I was like kind of having this conversation last night because I did a gig last night which was at the Frog and Bucket, which is kind of like a clubby vibe. So then it's just as a difference of like, I do like going into those environments because I go in and I kind of have people react in a way that they're kind of like overcome with laughter, but they didn't know that's what they liked. So it like happens to them and they're like, whoa, that was interesting. I didn't expect. This is not what I know that I like, but I still enjoyed it. And then it's like those people versus going somewhere like XS Malarkey, which is like a really friendly environment of like comedy nerds who like really like comedy, who I'm not altering any of their expectations really. They're just like enjoying it for what it is. And it's like, I know that those people might follow me because they know that they like it, whereas for some of those other people it might be like, oh, that was a good experience at the time.
And there are that sounds like there's two different types of laughs. So in one room where people aren't as haven't like experienced something like that as much, they're laughing at this new thing or maybe laughing at you at certain points as well, which is like a huge part of that. Just like, why is she on stage doing this thing? Whereas then the other laughs with people who are into comedy are going, oh, this is a different angle and this is brave, or this like, you know, so as a creative person, I often find it hard to detach. I'm always analysing in a way. I'm going, oh, wow, they found this somewhere, and where did they find that? Yeah. So I guess that leads on to a question of how do you work? I mean, I imagine it comes from lots of different places, but in terms of working out those absurdist bits, is that just an idea and getting up, or is it well thought out before you're on the stage?
Oh, like, do I write my material word for word, or do I work it out on stage? A bit of both. So for my shorter jokes, like, I write them like beforehand. I don't write them. I write them in my head. It's a really bad system because it's so easy to forget. But as soon as I like go with a pen and paper, it just becomes like, it just doesn't work. It just really doesn't work. So I just like, this is how I write material. I'm just like, it's just looks really stupid.
Sat in a coffee shop around writers, and then you're just
it looks like I'm not doing anything. It's pretty bad. But yeah, those bits are all like pre-written. But then some bits, and then for the shorter jokes, they'll be like pre-written, and then I'll like allow myself on stage in the moment to put like tags at the end so the bit grows. And then for the longer bits, sometimes I go with like an idea and then just kind of like cut it down to the punchlines that got stuff and then just get rid of everything else.
That's a good way Yeah, that's because the world that you're in. I was having a conversation the other day, and I was like, I want to be that comic where I come on and it's crazy and no one knows what's going on, and it feels like it's spontaneous and in the moment. But like I'm really scared. Like I'm really scared to go on with that, with just an idea. And what it sounds like is that you've got your jokes to hold on to in the the bits where you go, okay, this is a joke and it's funny, so I'm allowing myself time to play between those bits.
Yeah. I think definitely have bits where it's like, this is definitely a joke, and then and
then this is an idea or a movement.
Yeah, saying stuff at the end that might kind of like add, just like texture to it, or like a bit of your personality to add on to it. Then I think I generally go on with like an idea of what I'm going to say, unless I'm in a place where I'm really, really comfortable and I basically like know everybody.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'll just go off on like a ramble.
That's cool.
And then those are like nice environments because they're so low stakes. It's just like
you at least get a sympathy
laugh. Say anything, and people will be like, "Oh well, she's a bit odd, I guess." It's like, okay, yeah, that's.
Do you know, this is like, I bet this is like being back in university. I'm just analysing all of your work.
I love doing it. After every gig, it's basically like a post analysis. Whoever's around me, whether that's like another comedian or like my boyfriend and me talk about loads of like in such depth to the point.
But then I guess that's where the writing happens as well. Or at least the editing of the stuff that you've done.
Yeah. It does help because like my post analysis from last night was like kind of sometimes it's interesting that in these places where it's like that clubby kind of environment, it was like the jokes get laughs, but it's like the tags at the end, which are not really like jokes, but actually they kind of like undermine the jokes. or it makes it
the laugh.
No, like it just makes it like, okay, how am I going to say this? So it's like there's a joke, and then I'll say something at the end to make it, that kind of makes it seem like I don't even really know that that's a joke.
Right, all right.
So then it's like, I guess that's personality that comes out that people find funny.
Yeah.
Like that idea that I'm just like, oh, I'm just stumbling along, I guess. And I guess I just said something.
Yeah.
But actually it's like a really well-written joke that I think took me ages to write.
To put the tag on.
And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
So that's good, I guess.
Because you can't do the opposite of that. And then everyone just goes, oh, no, she's funny.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a different, I don't really like smug comedy. I don't like when somebody says something clever and then it's like, you laugh because it's clever. I like dumb comedy. Like, I like it when people say really dumb stuff.
Yeah,
so
me too. I like it. I like it when they do that and go off on a story, but somehow still make me believe this. Or I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's just that it's the personality that's then making me go, oh, there's alternative reason why they're telling me this crazy like narrative, and that's what I like holding on to. But I don't know. I could talk about it forever. Honestly, it's so interesting. Well. Yeah,
it's really good.
That's like self-proclaimed interesting. People like get into the bin stuff.
Yeah.
But when's your show happening?
It's on the 23rd and 30th of September at the Pier Hat. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, the Pier Hat.
Yeah.
The last show was at the Pier Hat as well.
Really?
Who was on? Yeah, Recall. I've not been
there
there
What
yet.
was that, immersive?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, theirs is like it's a disco. You're in a disco when you do it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, in the 80s.
Wait, is it immersive there or is it just a disco?
I don't know. I think it might just be a disco, and then I do a monologue when. Like, I said I'm going to turn up as a character because it's immersive theatre. So, and they've told me about the show. So I was like, well, I can just add my own character in there now. Yeah. That's happening tonight and tomorrow, actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
Tonight and tomorrow.
So I'm going to go and check out the Pier hat, so I'll have to come and see yours as well. That's cool. You're gonna do a show a week apart.
Yeah.
Is that like a?
Basically, I don't really know much about the Pier hat either, or like who, like when people are there. So I was kind of like just trying to put my eggs in 2 baskets. Nobody's ever used that as a phrase before. We're always talking about one basket.
That's not the phrase, is it?
That's not the phrase.
You got 2 baskets.
Well, you're not supposed to put your eggs in 1 basket, so I put my eggs in 2 baskets.
Yeah.
I've taken the advice actually very well.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, I'm actually listening to the advice.
You're doing what no one else is doing.
People keep making mistakes and putting their eggs in 1 basket. I got 2 baskets. And I've decided to do a Wednesday and a Thursday. Because Wednesdays and Thursdays are like pretty good days for comedy, in my opinion. But I didn't really know. I didn't want to do like a Wednesday, then another Wednesday, then it's like the exact same people who just go to the Pier hat on a Wednesday.
On Wednesdays, yeah, you're trying to find your audience.
Yeah, so trying to like split it up and see. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I'm coming, so I'd have to choose what kind of person I am, a Wednesday or a Thursday kind of person.
Are you a Wednesday guy? Or are you a Thursday
Which basket are you in?
Yeah, exactly. Pick a basket.
Cool, right. Well, let's move on to I've just got an audio. Do you know what? This is something I'm going to put in the bin straight away.
Oh, yeah.
Audio messages, voice notes.
Oh, yeah.
I've just took a gamble here because you could be a voice note person.
I'm not. Just write me a message. I don't want to listen.
Please, stop editing live. Just write the message.
Yeah.
You know who you are. You know who you are. Who's just sent me that voice note.
I get that it's easy for you, but it's not easy for me. I mean, like, the balance of it is just so off. Of like, I'm going to do this thing that's really easy for me, and then fuck you, I guess. Find a quiet place and listen to a whole message.
Yeah, and also, there's a reason why they only let you do a minute.
Yeah.
So those people who then are looking at it 55 seconds, oh, sorry, 1 second, I need to do another one. And then you get multiple.
I've never had multiple.
Oh.
That sounds terrible. I'm going to just write a message.
Yeah,
it's
so much better.
But also it feels weird when somebody sends you a voice message and then you text back. Because it's like, I see what you're trying. And I just flat out refuse to join in with this.
Then
it makes me feel bad.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, no.
I haven't got the improvisational skills to reply with an actual message. I need time to type that out. Yeah. I also feel disarmed because an audio message you can't preview and leave unread.
Yeah.
You have to go into it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they do that
Maybe
too.
That's I don't know what's wrong with these.
I'm not listening to it. No. My first one. So we have normally there's 2 people here and we have a competition, but I'm not a competitive person. I didn't want to compete against you.
You came up with the idea.
Yeah, I like putting other people against each other. Right. I don't want to lose.
Yeah.
But we're still going to do some of the rounds. The first round is a topical one, and honestly, I'm so bad at prep. I need someone to help me. Yeah. I literally just Googled funny news.
Oh yeah.
But then I was amazed. I got into a kind of dark hole of stuff, and I found this news article. Woman attacked by alligator says, "I love him, and it shouldn't face any consequences."
I also saw that, but just as a screenshot. None of the actual, did you actually get into it and read
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, did you find that? Did someone send this to you or you saw it?
No, I just saw, a screenshot of, the headline, but I didn't actually see the full
I'll give you some context to it. It's kind of like
it feels like it needs context.
It's kind of like a wildlife park. And she was doing a demonstration. And I think she was, feeding this alligator that she loves.
Yeah.
And, bit her arm in front of crying children just watching this happen.
And probably one child that was there's probably
we all had one.
Out there,
We all had one in our school that had something behind their eyes. Yeah. And then she went to hospital. She kept her hand. Whoa, Siri's talking to me. She kept her hand and then was like, please don't do anything to the alligator. What do you think about her?
Yeah, that's like a completely different story to just some mental women going just like in a park. But, I mean, obviously when you hear it, you're like, Florida. Florida again. So that's
Classic.
where, yeah, classic. That's where my mind went. But yeah, this is a
It's just some
story.
clever headlines. Maybe the
Yeah.
people who are doing these headlines where you have to click on it.
Yeah.
Maybe they should get in the bin because it really gets me every time.
Yeah.
And it's always not what they've advertised.
Yeah.
Fake news.
But yeah.
Come on, guys.
It just, yeah, that's like just not. I guess she did say that, so it's just using a quote that's.
It's an amazing headline.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was this one newspaper that was just full of those headlines. There must just be someone's job.
Yeah.
To be like, right, what's the craziest thing that we can
pull
do?
out of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it was actually she was actually in. But she did say she loves the alligator, which is a bit much.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's mutual feelings.
But also, she's somebody who's like her job is being with Alec. So she's obviously nuts.
Yeah.
Like that's her. Would you have that as a job? No, because we're not insane.
Why was she that close? Was she like just feeding it like a child with a spoon?
Weirdly, I did actually watch a video where it was two people doing that, like feeding an alligator show.
Oh, right.
And I think it was supposed to be like, oh, something goes wrong or blah, blah. It was just dumb videos that I'm like, oh, I'll watch this.
This was
I'll
2
watch
a.m.
some
on YouTube.
gory video where a man just gets mauled by an alligator. I don't know what. But then there was like an advert break kind of like right in the wrong place.
Oh, right.
Whereas like nothing had happened yet. And I don't know, so like I just kind of clicked. That advert came up and something in my head just was like, what
are you
the fuck
doing?
am I doing? Like, I'm not going to sit through an advert just so that I can get to the bit where some guy has like the worst moment of his life. I was like, I cannot, what am I doing?
Yeah. eToro advert comes on.
I was like, oh, you scroll past this bit. But I would have watched it. If there was no
saved it,
advert,
yeah.
I would have watched it. I would have watched it. Why? I watched all of those videos. It really is depressing.
It's so hard not to,
I know.
yeah.
Because they just start playing and you're like, ugh.
Yeah, on the front of YouTube, and it's like Arctic monkeys in the rain in Dewsbury.
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay. Interesting.
Oh gosh, I love how much your YouTube algorithm just goes nuts when you watch like one video slightly out of context from your normal, and then it goes, you want all of this all the
No,
time?
honestly, the cryptocurrency on the front of my thing, because I saw something about Bitcoin and
Once,
yeah, and now I've just got
It
all
really-
yeah.
It goes
You could
through, doesn't
you could tell a lot. That could be something for your show. You can tell a lot about a person on.
Show me your
Show me the
YouTube
front.
homepage.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Whoa.
That is really interesting because it does. It's like it either says a lot about you or it says like one thing you did once.
Which is what all of the data.
Yeah.
No, that's what most data is used for.
Yeah,
the one thing you
yeah.
did once, the one thing you said in passing that your phone heard, and now it's
it just
advertised.
shows you all the time. But,
Yeah, that might be a good one. I'd hate to show people my YouTube homepage.
Yeah, me too. Although the other day I was like, one of the videos that came up with how to do your makeup in prison or how to do like prison makeup, and I was like, this is actually exactly what I want to watch. Thank you so much. And it was so interesting. I was like, where else would you find this?
How did you find me?
Yeah, how did you find me? Like,
That was probably all the prison brawls that you've been watching.
Yeah, either all makeup videos, which I don't really watch, or like prison type shit. Just
That's such a niche, like.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. But it was so
But yeah, no, that sounds
interesting.
great.
It was just this girl who'd like been in and out of prison for quite a while, and so she's just saying what everybody would do with like the little bits that they had.
Wow.
And how everything was like so multifunctional. It was so interesting.
Are you like a child of the internet? Like, have you been at the beginning of when YouTube was kind of okay, and now it's crazy?
Yeah. Do you remember?
Do you remember those days?
Yeah. So I was probably at uni when like YouTube. No, not when it first started, but when it was like at its peak, like YouTube Prime.
Who do you remember from that era?
So obviously, like the queen of YouTube, Jenna Marbles, was like at her prime. I feel like that's a good like.
Okay, that's the era you're in.
Because she like is YouTube.
Yeah.
Basically, I actually like wrote my dissertation about YouTube. So I did like
that. I wouldn't laugh at that because that sounds like something exactly what I want to read. Like, that sounds amazing.
You're like, how? I did a case study between like Jenna Marbles and Bo Burnham, which is very interesting because then this year was turned 30 and he did like his Netflix special, which everybody was posting about, and I was like, oh, I actually wrote about it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. A similar thing. I was watching him from in college. He was doing the YouTube thing, and I was like, there from that, and then watching his stand-up shows, I was like, wow, you are incredible. What a genius.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was interesting to see him go more into the mainstream during this.
Whereas Jenna Marbles stuck to YouTube, which is what the thing was.
There's levels to it. Yeah.
Yeah. But now she's left YouTube.
Yeah. But how did he have the foresight? Because he knew what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And he was one of the first. There was people before him in the UK scene before him doing it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this is why I asked you. I was like, do you know Charlie Is So Cool? Like, and there's like a crowd, the original vloggers.
No, I don't. But I know like the like Mame Town and Grace, Daily Grace.
I don't know.
So she would do like she'd like mix cocktails and then like make puns about cocktails, and then that was like basically the whole thing.
That sounds like something that'd end up on my homepage.
Yeah. Oh, and there was like kind of, they were in a trio. Another one was like called Drunk Kitchens, and she would just like get really drunk and like try and make stuff in her kitchen. But that was like YouTube Prime, wasn't it? Like I actually always talk about this as well. Like I like that all of the conversations that like I bore people with.
Yeah.
Like, but that was YouTube's like Prime for sure, and I don't think that you can use YouTube in the same way.
No way.
It's completely corrupted, and it's just.
Oh, I'm so glad that you know that. Yeah, that's my experience as well. It's just it's gone, but it's still growing, and it's still going to go somewhere, but it won't ever be what it was.
That's why I always wondered, like, what is the next platform? Because like, TV's dead. TV died like just so long ago. You can't even try and revive TV. It's so dead. YouTube is dead. Like. Even Facebook is a cesspit of sadness.
Oh my god!
Like,
I love going on it for that reason, but it's so gone.
Whenever I think of YouTube, Facebook, I think of just like what a Gen X and like baby boomers just like clawing around in the desert. Like, somebody, look, these are my children
in a uniform.
Yeah. This is what I had for breakfast. This was my day in the nice castle. Look, everybody zombies just like slowly like clawing at each other for attention. It's such a horrible experience to be on there.
That's going in. Facebook's in the bin.
Yeah,
I think that's what we've discovered. Yeah.
Facebook's been taken out to landfill. Like, it's so far gone. But, like, Instagram is like dying. It's just everything. Death rate is such a quicker rate now. So TV had a much longer like survival time. YouTube had quite a long survival time, and then every time we get something new, it just condenses of how long you can use it for.
So, and also it becomes a shorter and shorter video or shorter and shorter content. So it's just gonna be 1 second.
Yeah.
That's it at the end. Yeah, my gosh. I think we went off on a tangent, but I think what we discovered was that Facebook's in the bin.
Facebook's in the bin. Facebook's fully in the bin.
The alligator
YouTube's
lady got away with it.
Which is like, YouTube is just like, you know, like a sad Viking, like, burial on the river, like, lighting a candle. Like, we loved you, YouTube.
What it used to be.
We loved you.
What's beautiful is that all those videos are still there.
Yeah.
And I often go back and I'm like, oh, there's so little people experience it.
Yeah.
I'd love to show you Charlie Is So Cool, like, because he was the first UK vlogger who was on the main page of YouTube. He was like the first one that YouTube went, oh, we've got like someone here who's doing something different.
Yeah.
And he'd done basically what people are doing now on TikTok, which is he did a How to Be British sketch.
Okay.
And he was like 16 years old and he was just making tea jokes and he's like quite this posh kid from Bath. And then he just like blew up and he was the same age as me, so I was watching him make videos and just talk about his life and it was just such sweet videos of talking about girls and music and Doctor Who and it was the first time I was like, that's someone who like is like me and he's making video and he was the only one doing it. And then all his mates got famous off the back of that and there's just this group of people who are still making videos for the internet and have gone off and had... Dodie was one of them, who's a musician. She's like a mainstream musician now, but she was just one of his mates. And a fan of his at first as well. And then she kind of grew an audience off the back of it and now is a mainstream musician. And no one knows that it was this...
this whole...
We're going to have to write another dissertation, Eryn.
How it's changed.
Yeah, but in terms of like you spoke about Bo Burnham, is that someone who there's like there's different people, isn't there? There's some people who you look at and go, I want to be like them, and there's some people you look at and you go, I'm a fan of them, but it's not me at all. Where does Bo Burnham stand on that?
I am definitely a fan, which is like I don't really like a lot of people, so like that's I am definitely a fan. There's aspects of it that I don't like, but generally I am a fan, and it's not something that I'm like, I definitely wouldn't want to do something like that, but I guess it's not really what I'm doing at the moment. It's hard because he's like such a prodigy of music. Exactly. I don't have any music. I guess the only way I could do something that was similar is just how everything's very crafted, so there's like a beat for everything
theatrical
to happen.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Which I think is interesting. And when it comes to my show, I'm wondering, do I make it kind of like a loose speaking thing, or is it all going to be crafted where it's like this happens at this moment?
Yeah, and he plays on that, doesn't he, with his stuff? He kind of like... He has loads of jokes that is very meta and you don't know where you
itself,
are. I love watching him but for me when I'm watching him I'm like I could never do any of what you're doing. You're just in your own lane of what you're doing.
I guess what we just going into this, but what's your opinions on Inside then?
I think we just do this. I think we just do this because I was going to ask you that. I had that question in my brain.
Do you like?
And I was like,
elbowing its way to the front.
Right. So on Inside, I found it fascinating. I didn't laugh as much as I laugh at Make Happy and his previous like bits and sets and stuff, but I just thought it was a movie. I found it tragic. I didn't find it funny, and I don't know if he wanted me to. And the main argument that I find interesting is I heard Mark Kermode talking about it and a few other people who I've spoken to recently, and they were like, was it real? Like, was he crying in that moment? Was his outbursts real and stuff? And the argument is like, why do you care? It felt real. It felt real to me. And but even if not, why are you? It's a movie. Like,
it's like those bits don't matter, do they? Like, one of my favorite comedians is Tig Notaro, and she has a really funny bit about like when comedians go up and they tell a story and they go like, and this is like this is true. This is really true. And,
Genuinely.
Yeah, genuinely, this is true. And her joke is basically like, why are you telling everybody you're bad at your job? Like, you can't make anything up. It's like the crux of the joke. But obviously, I like completely ruined it. So but that's like the joke. It's like, why are you telling everybody you don't know how to make stuff? Like, what? Yeah, that's just being bad at your job. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess that was the argument, and it doesn't. Yeah, I think
that doesn't matter to me.
And then other mates who are creatives, because I feel like it speaks to people who are making stuff more than others when I've spoken to them, because I've been speaking to a lot of people. Other people who aren't into making stuff have a different experience of it. They're watching it like it's a special.
Yeah.
And people who are making stuff are watching it like a guy who's going crazy trying to make ideas and make something happen. But even people who are in that world, I told them the other day that he didn't live in that room.
Yeah.
And they were like, what?
Yeah.
They thought he stayed in that.
I didn't know that.
Oh.
Because, I was just like, he must have loads of money. Why does he have such a shit life?
That's what they said. Oh, it must just be me that was like, no, he's not living in...
Yeah. I think it was like a passing comment of just like, there's no way that this is his house.
At the end of Make Happy, he's in that room and he's playing the piano and he walks out. It's like his outhouse, and he walks out to his house.
Yeah.
But obviously it doesn't show that in that thing. Yeah. But then, like, he 100% lived in his house.
in the actual house.
And made his movie in there.
Not just the shed.
Yeah, I'm sure he spent a long time in there and stuff.
Yeah.
So what are your opinions on it?
So I guess it's like, I like the guy and I like what he's done before. But the aspects of stuff that he's done before was just like kind of doubled up in this one, I think, of like, sometimes I think being so self-referential is like, again, it's like smug and clever comedy versus dumb. It's like, we get it, you know who you are and what you're doing. Could you just like do it though?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to like reference everything that you say or think, like, and attach it to your identity. I think so. It's like a bit too much self-referential stuff for me. I feel like it can be quite patronizing. It's like, I don't need to be babied.
Yeah.
like I'm able to do like the mental maths of this myself. So there's like, that was just like a lot, because he does that in his other ones, but it's like quite subtle and far between.
Yeah.
Whereas this is like a lot of it going on. And then just some bits that I think were a bit hacky, which I understand, like, your packaging. So I think sometimes people think that like alternative comedy can be doing hacky jokes but then packaging it in an interesting way. And I'm like, but it's still what you're doing. Or
like what you say, referencing the hacky joke and then...
and like that somehow makes it okay. If you do a joke and you go, oh, that was a bit hack. It's and then you get a laugh for that. It's like, you could have just like not done the hack joke. Yeah. So it was a bit like the, I think he did that song about like FaceTiming his. Yeah. For which I was a bit like, oh, this is quite a already overdone observation by now. I think it, like, obviously I did relate to bits and I thought that like parts of it were funny. Because sometimes I just feel like you can't just make it into a song and then it's
for sure. Yeah, and it was produced. The songs were produced really well, so it was like a layer of just getting away with, I guess, just what the content was.
And doing it like and that really.
Yeah, for sure. When I remember it, I'm not remembering those bits. I'm remembering the in between parts. What I found interesting, like when he was turning 30 and he just had like the monologue there, and
I think the Welcome to the Internet song was fantastic.
Oh, it's on repeat. I've got it on repeat.
Do. That was like the highlight of the show for me, because the style of it really, again, it was like sometimes he did songs that were just in kind of like a pop song setting, which which so I don't really like pop songs, so like I didn't enjoy the song because I don't like the style of it. Whereas that one, like the style and the content really fused together. Of like this really like aggressive like welcome to the circus. It's horrible inside.
Yeah, and he's that point of view. He's one of the perfect people to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
He's always commented on the internet.
Just that everything came together in that bit, I think.
I love that stuff. When he talks about that. Because he's lived it and he also has the foresight of being able to know where it's going. He's always been in it. And 8th grade does that incredibly
I watched that
well.
recently as well. I thought that was really good and also like horribly relatable.
Oh, horrible.
But I was like, oh God. There's some bits I was like, this is so horrible.
But everyone relates to it. Regardless of who you are. Everyone's watched that and gone, whoa, I'm relating to this 8th grade girl. Like, I know, I've heard people talk about it who are 40-year-old men who are watching it going, oh my God, that's me.
That's me.
Brilliant. No, I think that song, Welcome to the Internet, and Unpaid Intern as well. I really loved that. Yeah, the kind of little sketchy bits. But I agree. I think he apologizes for himself way too much for being a white guy. Yeah.
That's why, like, you don't need to, like, you're still doing it. So you're obviously not so sorry that you're going to just stop doing it. So if you're going to do it, then just like, own it and just do it. If you're doing it and you have a different perspective, like, I don't know, I don't really care what your full identity is, as long as you're saying something interesting.
Yeah, or funny as well.
Yeah.
I think I like the first song when he does it. Okay, you're contextualizing it in this space, so you don't need to do it again.
Yeah.
We know.
It just was very apologetic, I guess, which was like...
Guess what he was dealing with. But yeah, I definitely didn't watch it as a comedy special. I kind of felt like
just watch it.
Like the Truman Show. It felt just horrible.
It was kind of horrible.
I'm glad we're talking about this. This is like derail. I need to change my podcast, guys. I've got much more to say about
it. I'm like worried that these opinions are going to be out on the internet. Like, oh dear. I think I stand by most of what I say. Sometimes I get really comfortable and then I just start rambling and then I leave and I'm like, I don't think anything that I just said.
Honestly, I'm going to say that now. Everything I've just said will change in 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just my reaction in this moment.
I don't hold anything for what I'm...
No way.
Yeah, I always leave conversations and I'm like, I don't think that at all.
This is a performance.
Yes.
Yeah, but you're also, like, I've never been asked that question, so... I'm working it out as I'm saying it to you. Yeah. I think that's fine. I think that's a given on the internet. We could change our minds, I hope.
Well, you hope so.
You hope, I mean, just power through.
The internet is a cruel place.
Yeah, no politician can change their mind, can they? That's
generally,
a sign
if you write
weakness.
something down, that's set in stone.
Yeah, it's done. But not here.
Not here.
Not in this free thinking podcast that we've created.
This is a safe space.
Yeah, there's going to be loads of people who care about our opinion on Bo Burnham's inside.
Yeah. As long as we just don't meet the guy someday, I guess. Oh, you mentioned it. I thought it was... I enjoy... I'm going to backtrack now. I enjoyed it.
We can't do 12 minutes of you now telling us everything that you love.
I enjoyed that. Sometimes I find that... So even if I don't like something as much, I enjoy that it exists. So I like the fact that it exists. Some stuff, I'm like, I hate this and I wish it was not in existence. I didn't like that as much, but I'm glad that it exists.
Look, he made a show. Like, I agree with that because he made a movie on his own in one room. Like, what he came out with is a masterpiece in what he made. But, you know, everything else still stands as well. We just didn't say that because it's a given. I mean, I'm a massive fan of his, especially Make Happier. I watch it probably every 3 months.
Oh, really?
I'm an obsessive person, but Make Happy. I think anytime I come to try and make something, I'm quite an unoriginal person. I'll just have to watch things in that space and like try and absorb and see how other people have done it. Movies that I like and things like that. And like just, you know, like try and hold on to grab ideas that I can try and manufacture into my own stuff.
Yeah.
And Make Happy is just the way he makes that show and what it's about and everything.
Yeah.
Is like,
It's
I think,
like, oh, you really
great.
did make a show here, didn't you? Some people just like get up and speak, but you actually did. You like fully just went and made a show.
And then
really
left.
Impressive. Yeah. Yeah. It's actually really impressive.
Yeah, and that must be hard to do when people are throwing money at you to just do 3 specials like that at such a young age, and then just be like, I'm out.
Yeah.
For a couple of years, I'm going to go and make a movie.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I'll make this thing in my room. And he's on the acting thing now as well.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's quite interesting. Do you have, so you said you don't like that many people. Do you have other people that you come back to? Like you obviously are a fan of Bo Burnham's. Is there other people that come to mind?
Of stuff that I would, so my favourite stand-up probably is Tig Notaro. Who, do you know?
No.
She's an American stand-up. She got quite big. Basically, she got big by, she did a special. She went on, she's like, let's start again. So.
You're just so overwhelmed by it.
Yeah. I'm like, what am I actually trying to say there? So she kind of does like offbeat stuff, but like really deadpan, and her use of silence is just like incredible. But she kind of got big because she went to do a set at Largo, but she just found out that she had cancer. She had like a really tragic moment in her life.
Whoa.
I think she like got broken up with, and then her mum died, and then she got first she had like a life-threatening disease, and then she got broken up with, and then her mum died, and then she was told she had cancer.
Oh my day.
So she went to go do this show.
Then she did a gig.
So she usually does like really silly stuff, but she just kind of went on going like, "Hey, I'm Tig, I have cancer. Hey, I'm Tig, I have cancer," and then just like kind of went between like trying to do the silly stuff, but then also like had to ditch it because it was too big of a thing. And Louis C.K. like recorded it and basically tweeted like, "History is happening right now." And then there's like an audio that you can listen to.
Wow.
But I think that's kind of like how her name really took off.
Was that your introduction?
No, so I think my introduction was my ex-boyfriend, who is a comedian, was like into her. So I watched one of her videos and I was like, I don't really get this. And then I went and watched her in Edinburgh, and she's one of those people where it's like, I just kind of like sit there listening, I'm like paying attention, and then suddenly I'm like in hysterics and I have no idea why. And I'm like, I don't know, I cannot pinpoint the bit where I started laughing. I don't really know what I'm still laughing at now, but I've not I'm just like a constant like laughter just from, I don't really know why. It's like that kind of experience. And then later I'd listen to the audio of that show, which was really good because it was like you like laugh and also you cry, and then you're like laughing through tears. And you're like crying like
Yeah, I'm gonna go and check that out.
Yeah.
I'm someone who likes to try and seek out people that, and especially with films and stuff, like I'll watch everything, but then if there's something that I watch and I go, I want to make that, or I want to be that, not that tone and that world that it's living in, then I'll just be like on repeat. And so like, are you that way, or are you more original than me? Like, do you try to, because some people will try and avoid that so that they don't say, they don't do the same jokes, and they don't say the same thing, they're kind of in their own world.
Well, I like watching the stuff that I like, but I think I don't feel like I'm trying to imitate anybody, really, because there's nobody's style that I would like. I think people compare me a lot to different people, but none of them I've taken. One of them is like Emo Phillips, who I've never actually watched.
I don't know who that is. No.
So yeah, I think it's just because he's like kind of lanky. I have a really big feeling it's just because he's lanky.
Just that.
Yeah.
Just
like
straight,
100% sure.
He just work at men's clubs.
Yeah. There's like a reviewer who like a couple of times has reviewed me, and both times has said like, oh, she's like Emo Phillips. And then I like, he's just a lanky man. I think that's all it is. But yeah, so I've not seen him, so I'm like, obviously, that's not somebody that I'm trying to be like, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're doing your own thing, and I guess that's like why you've got your set and you've got your points of view and the things that you like to do.
Yeah.
So I guess that's why it makes sense that you're doing looking for the audience, not for like me, what my voice is or my angle is.
I guess it must come from all the people that I hung out with who liked comedy. And I feel like when you like comedy and you're around people and you're watching it loads, for me I'm really easily jaded. So like I have like lost, so at the beginning I would like, oh, I really like this person, and then I've just like evolved to I can't watch anything that's like this because it all sounds the same to me and it all is the same to me. And so I just can't deal with it.
Yeah.
Because I just don't like that rhythm. Basically, there's like a very English rhythm that my brain is just tuned out of.
Right.
Because I'm like, this is just the same. I can't listen to this.
Yeah. So in terms of like where you want to go with it, with comedy and performing and, you know, all of the stuff that you're doing now, where would you like to go once you found your audience?
Yeah.
Is it just then touring to that audience? Like where do you see yourself?
Yeah, so I guess it is. So for like stand up, yeah, it probably would be like having a following so that I could tour and do shows like for them instead of just being on a lineup where it's like kind of iffy. So that would be the ideal. It's just like not big just like nice, small, intimate places where I'm definitely going to have an audience and people will pay tickets.
And they know, I guess to a certain extent, they know what they're paying for and they're going to enjoy it.
They just know the vibe. Even if there's like, they have their friends there that don't. Like, you know, generally everybody kind of like knows what's going on, so it's not like...
And you can push the boundary at that show as well, can't you?
Yeah, exactly. You're not trying to win people over. Like... A lot of the times I go on stage, it's like, it depends where I am, but it can be like, right, I'm just going to have to.
Someone's here. What do you do if Bo Burnham walks in? Like,
I heard you speaking about me.
Gone in. We'll just carry on.
Yeah. Some places I go, it's like, I just am going to have to win people over because sometimes it's just like I get on stage and people are just immediately like, no.
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah, I don't like what this looks like. I don't like its energy. I'm not interested. So it can be like that, and it's like, it's just an extra piece of work to like be like, everything will be okay. Nobody will laugh at you if you enjoy this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, my limited gig experience. So I started stand-up when I was younger as a kind of confidence thing. So I was like 14 when I did my first gig. It was in school with in front of friends, and it was a course. And then from 14 to 18, I was like, I'm going to be a comic. This is amazing. This is what I want to do. But no one should be doing it that young. Like, it's great for confidence and things, but I should never have wanted to be a stand-up at that age. That's psychopathic. I had nothing to talk about. So I didn't do it then until when I finished at 18, I went and did an acting degree 8 years later. Is now when I'm trying to do it again. And so going up on stage now, I feel that pressure, what you're talking about, of trying to get people to like you. And I think everyone's like kind of smells it immediately. They suss you out immediately. Like, you're trying to get me to like you. So I definitely don't. It's quite difficult. My feedback so far from my gigs. Honestly, this sounds like good feedback. It's never, please don't say this to me, even if you think it. They say every gig I've come off, they've gone, you're very confident.
That's That's nice.
I'm like, right, I just need to be funny now.
Yeah.
And that to me makes me feel like I'm just arrogant and unfunny as well. Do you know, like I'd rather be shy and at least funny.
Well, maybe, but I feel like you don't get that. Like having stage presence and confidence and being comfortable on stage just makes such a difference to whether. I
guess it's a different starting point, isn't it?
People are more likely to trust you and they'll go along with it. Even if it's like not necessarily that funny, they're gonna go along with you because you've like made yourself a trustworthy person.
Right, yeah. That's
so
true.
Like, they're confident. If they're confident, then maybe I should be. It's all like these psychological tricks of like, if they are confident, then it must be good.
It must be okay.
Because otherwise they wouldn't be confident. They would be really nervous about saying it, but they look fine.
Yeah, if they said to me that you're confident, but you really shouldn't be. That'd be worse.
Yeah, that would be worse.
Yeah, but I'm gonna try some new stuff out. Getting up on the stage has made me feel like it doesn't matter as much as I used to think it did.
This is the thing, like so many people, if you say like you do comedy, then they're like, oh, you do stand up? Like, yeah, I do stand up. And then obviously this is like such a trope of people saying like it's brave or whatever.
I could never do that.
Because I could never do that. And I just like, how do you do it? It's like, well, it's actually not that hard. Like, I really don't know where it's so not that hard.
Yeah.
Just the basic, just like on paper, the basics of it. Go up on stage and say stuff into a microphone. It's not. It's really not that hard, and I'm at no physical threat. Like at no point is there any like danger to me. Yeah,
unless you're doing a gong show.
Yeah, but even then, it's like you just go home.
You just leave.
Yeah. You just go home.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not feeding alligators.
It's not that job.
Like, that's fucking brave. I wouldn't do that.
I'm going to reply with that out of context to everyone from now on. Well, it's not feeding alligators, is it?
Alligators.
No, I mean, no, and I think for me, that first gig back was, I put all of those voices in my head, you know, like all of the pressure.
Yeah.
Like 8 years of pressure, knowing that I wanted to be a stand-up, like, you know, during that time, and then lockdown, the pressure of that, going, I can't, like, I know I'm going to do it when it comes back in, but and not even talking to anyone about it. I've did all the pressure and then got on the stage and I was like, oh yeah, it's this. I forgot it was this and not what I what's in my head.
This is.
It's just a conversation.
It's just
So I'm hoping to do some more of that stuff.
It definitely is like nerve-wracking. I get really. Like, it just really fucks with my body. I don't know why I do it. My, like, whole... Even if I'm, like, mentally, like, this is fine and it really doesn't matter, my body goes into, like, whoa.
Do you get the thought in your mind, like, why have I done this to myself again?
Yeah, like, constantly. And I'm like, what am I... My body can't handle it at all. It's, like, constant... It's just, like, feels really horrible.
Does that turn into something else when you're on the stage? Is that before?
Oh, then I'm on stage and it's just fine.
Okay.
It's just as before, and I don't really know how to like. I have so weird like disconnect between my mind and my body, and also, my body feeling of like excitement and nerves is exactly the same. So
that's horrible.
It's really distressing. So if I'm like excited for something, I'll feel sick in the same way that I'm nervous. And then my outward appearance will just be like, hey, what's up, guys? But inside it's like...
Do you think if you didn't feel that way, it'd be the same? Or does that fuel it in a weird way?
I don't know. I think people like to say like, oh, it's good to be nervous. And I'm like, it's good to like have regular, nice bowel movements. But it's not something that I have right now. But that was, my head was like, don't say that. And I still said it.
Yeah, when I'm waiting for your show to start and it's 10 minutes late, I'll know.
Yeah,
I'll know what's going on.
Yeah.
The pier hat. Oh. So,
This is weird.
honestly, I could talk to comics all day. I think I'm changing this podcast. This podcast is over, guys. We're starting a new one. I'm doing
Is there
this from
anything
now
else
on.
that we were supposed to?
So
Well, we
much.
did. We covered. We put Facebook in the beginning.
We got to Facebook.
And then we
The one that actually that I
spoke
would.
about that woman with the alligator.
Well, actually, we spoke about the one with the alligator and ended on Facebook. It was a strange journey.
Yeah. So that's. I don't really remember how that happened.
Oh,
But
yeah.
we've
I
done a
think
few- we've hit a
I
few
don't know
of
if
the
if you
marks.
have ADHD. I feel like you do, but I do. And this is what happened. Yeah, I need to not
yeah.
structure podcasts because my brain's gonna go
Yeah, it's gonna
elsewhere.
go,
There's
yeah,
no way I can do it. Yeah.
I think is if you hit the points, then it's fine.
Okay.
Doesn't matter how you get
We've missed
there.
quite a few points, but we're gonna go straight to
Yeah.
this. There might not be a point for this, but I
You
was
could
gonna.
just quick fire the other ones.
Well, I just want to go to the final bin down.
Okay,
I've called
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I think I called it that in the ideas that I'd get a jingle.
Yeah.
It's
Then
not
I'd
happening.
work out how to use this.
The final bin down.
Yeah.
And this was just a chance for you
Oh yeah.
personally to put something in the bin if there is anything that you'd like to go in.
Yeah, I did. I was trying to think about this today because I was like, you need to have something. Be prepared.
Yeah, you were widely mistaken.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, this is fine. Yeah, I was thinking, I think I was having a shower when I was thinking, so what came to mind was when you have like a hot and a cold tap,
Wait, yeah.
and they're separate. I'm
Oh.
not into that.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like I can either scald my hands or have freezing cold, and I just don't like who has come up with this as a concept. Yeah. I'm not
Yeah, I
into
think
that.
it's been so long since I've had one of those
one
that I
of those,
forgot they
yeah.
existed. Do you have one of those?
I don't in my new place, but I think
Okay,
in my old
luxury.
place I did. Yeah, it all comes out.
Toilets, that's so true, yeah. What do you go for generally?
Well, I like warm, so what I'll do is I guess I'll use the hot, and then as soon as it's like really burning my hands, I'll turn it off. And like, fuck,
Turn it off.
turn it off.
Do you know what I think I do? I turn both on.
You do?
And I go to the warm,
And
and
then-
then when it's hot, I'm like, and I take a little
Yeah.
bit more warm because you.
It's just we should be mixing our own water. It's like
Yeah.
it's too far in the future for that.
Yeah, people are going literally. They're colonizing Mars.
Yeah,
and we
and
still
we're
have
st-
the.
What is? Yeah,
We've got
it's-
other priorities, Elon. Can you help us out?
Yeah. Get back from Mars and just sort us out some taps. I mean, he obviously doesn't have those taps in his house.
No, he has a robot that follows him
He
around.
just has like mist.
Just constantly.
Yeah, constant mist.
I think he just goes in like a chamber.
Yeah.
For 1 second. and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
Comes back out. Yeah, he's a weird guy. We spoke about him on the last one.
Did you?
Yeah, fascinated
I
by
wonder
him.
what his house is like.
Yeah, and Grimes as well.
Oh yeah,
She's pretty.
It's really difficult to like figure out which one of them is more nuts.
yeah.
I've tried to think about it, but I don't.
Yeah, I feel like they're the perfect supervillains.
Yeah, they
to
actually
be together.
super villains. Yeah, yeah,
We've got real life ones. Well, yeah, those taps can get in the bin then.
yeah. Do you have anything?
I was trying to think like what's happened to me this week.
What's
no,
happened to me?
no, I don't. I should be writing these things down in the week,
yeah.
when for things to get in the bin. But no, I've all I've done this week, honestly, this is how much of a state my flat was in. All I've done is clean
Oh really?
and wash clothes, and it's
wow.
honestly
Yeah.
it's not interesting.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's still not done.
Oh, fruit flies can get in the bin.
I feel like you've been hurt.
We have fruit. The really tiny where they just
Is
like
that what they
appear.
are?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
You
I have them.
Yes, I think that's going to be a really peaked moment on your audio. Yes.
Yes, now you're a scruff too.
Definitely.
I thought it was because this is why
Yeah.
I've been deep cleaning, because I thought I was just dirty.
So I think what happens is they come out in hot weather.
Yeah.
So whenever it's hot, they like come out of nowhere. And I think if you have like one tiny bit of food out, then it's like they just appear.
Okay, this makes me
and then
feel
no matter how
so
much
good.
you try, they just like live there for a bit. I think when the weather drops a bit.
Oh, get out.
Might leave.
So I left a tea bag in a mug.
Okay, yeah.
I know you shouldn't drink.
Well, that seems innocent.
Yeah, but the tea bag shouldn't. I should have took the tea bag out.
Oh, well,
I drank. It was a fruit tea. I wanted it to be
Yeah, really strong. Yeah, that's
extra
fine.
strong.
Yeah.
I left the tea bag in the mug, and then I was just kind of going about my day. I'm going to say a day later. It may have been longer.
Yeah.
And I knocked the mug, and this. It was like Jumanji, and it overcame me. And I was like, what is going on? And it was those things.
Yeah.
And it freaked me out so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Did you know
I
how
have them
much
as well.
this is therapy for me? I
Yeah.
needed you to bring that up, because I just thought like I could never invite anyone around my flat ever again.
I think they will go. I think
Oh,
it's good
please.
that we both have them at the same time. It's definitely like solidifying my theory, which is like the hot weather, and also like it's not like a tea bag is.
Yeah, why are they on
like
that?
you left exactly. So I think it really is showing that they're just like getting the bare minimum of what they can.
Yeah, so I started spraying them with like I've been in like a war. I started spraying them with air freshener.
Oh yeah.
I was like, get out, get away. I'm trying to like fight them, but they won't go. I just feel like they're multiplying.
Yeah, I think they do. My boyfriend, from the advice of somebody, which I'm just not going to get into that bit because that's really weird. But he's bought. It's like a gun. It's like a gun. It's really massive, and it's filled with salt, and you kill flies with it.
Oh.
So it's like it's a really massive gun like this.
Wow.
Like big plastic gun, and it shoots salt at flies. And then that's how you kill them.
Okay.
So help you like maybe get your aggression out.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like they're remaking Ghostbusters again.
Yes.
Which they actually are remaking Ghostbusters
But then
again.
salt is everywhere. They're remaking Ghostbusters again.
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 Yeah. So they did it with the girls.
Yeah.
They've gone back to the boys. I think. They didn't like the women. I think we're gonna have to go back to the men.
The complaint was stop doing remakes.
They didn't hear it. They had a meeting and they went.
Misunderstood.
I think it must. It can't have been the movie.
Yeah, it was definitely that there were women in it.
Yeah, our mistake here.
Yeah, what?
I can't believe it. I saw the trailer.
We just want new films. Just all we want.
To go back to the men.
Yeah, that's
they didn't
so
even do a
so
sequel.
it's not even mixed. It's like a remake.
It's a prequel. Yeah, it's basically, or is it a It's a sequel to the men one, to the male one. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly didn't watch the new one. So.
But why though?
Oh, it's awful.
Why?
It's so serious.
Yes.
It's like they've not watched the point of. It's like they've watched Ghostbusters. This is going in the bin.
Yeah,
it's like they've watched Ghostbusters and went, okay, this is quite an interesting social drama. Let's remake this and like, yeah, it's like the Stranger Things kids. Obviously, I'm pretty sure that's who the cast is, or you know, it's that crowd.
Yeah,
and they like find a video of the Ghostbusters and find the car, and now they're going to become the new ones. They didn't even double down on the girls casting.
Yeah, they really did that. That just proves the point that like those things just are one-offs.
Yeah.
Like
you had that one, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're not even trying to not be like, no, we're not doing like token women films. No, that's what you just showed us all. That's exactly what this is. And also, nobody wanted it. Nobody wanted it.
Oh my god!
It's like they're hearing the message and then just like just don't get it at all. It's like, can we have some films with women in them?
They're just going,
I would just remake this one.
It's Ghostbusters, guys.
Like, we made this for you.
Go and watch that.
Yeah.
Put them both on at the same time. Go and watch that one then.
Yeah.
Gosh. Yeah, so
not
bad.
getting it.
So bad. That's in the bin. We put something in the bin.
Yeah. We put a few things in the bin.
Yeah, we have. We've got Facebook, Fruit Flies, Taps, and just remakes. Yeah, but especially that one. It's horrendous.
It's just no need.
Cool, right. I don't even know how long we've spoke for. I keep switched it on and off. There's lots of stuff in there that I know I'll find interesting.
Yeah.
So that's all that I care about.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's just end with you plugging the show again so people know where it is and when.
Yes, so I'm on at... I'm going to begin that again. Okay. I have a show. It's called Eryn Tett Finds Her Audience, and it's on the 23rd and 30th of September at the Pier Hat. And you can book tickets by going to the Greater Manchester Fringe website, although these ones are pay what you want, so you could also just rock up, and that's cool too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So, that's cool. Yeah, I like that. We've got a show. It's not part of the Manchester Fringe Festival though, so we're going a little bit rogue.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that's on the 20th of September at the King's Arms, so come and check us out. It's a scratch night. I spoke about it before, and I'm talking to this camera as if it's not just my friends watching this and they haven't already bombarded you with this. But yeah, so come and check that out if you haven't got your tickets yet. And I'm looking forward to yours.
Oh, yes, thank you. I hope you're not the only one.
That would be finding your audience.
Friend,
it's just
maybe?
me.
Yeah.
We just do another podcast again.
I will still do the show if it's just you.
It's okay. I'll take notes.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.